Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I was saying good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is fine. Good afternoon, Mahini and everyone. Good afternoon, Raju. I hope all of you are doing fine. Santosh, good afternoon. Uh, again, I'm getting some messages on this ID. Vaishnavi, Tarun, Goli, Pranay, everyone. If you have to send a message, I have logged in by 2 IDs. Please send messages on this ID with the name of Astik only. Do not send the message on the other ID. Good afternoon, Deepak, which is Astik Udenia, which is sharing the video and the audio. So send messages on this ID of Astik. Okay. With that, good afternoon, Chaturya. Let everyone come. And again, before starting with today's class, I would like everyone, good afternoon, Nagesh. I would like to again tell you, good afternoon, Tarun, that you must keep your videos off and you must be sitting at a place in your house which has good network. You might sometimes feel that my video or audio is lagging. Probably it's because of the connection. If you don't get good reception, then the speed will come down automatically and then you will have some lagging. So please keep in mind about that thing. Coming on to the question that I gave you last day, many of you have solved it correctly, and I am very glad that you have done it. Still, I would like more of you to be trying the questions. Okay, everyone got the answer correctly. No one got the wrong answer, but some of you made mistakes in writing symbols and whether to put when to put the symbol and when not to put the symbol. Probably there was a small misunderstanding there. Don't worry, it's a new thing that we have done, so we'll get used to it. Yeah, Chaturya, I gave you suggestions, I gave you comments on what you had posted on the group. I was very disappointed to see only one message I got in the BIPC group. I was expecting more. Normally what happens is BIPC students are giving more answers than the MPC students. Today it was actually the reverse. BIPC students did not give any answers. Very disheartening. I hope that we'll get more answers from both the groups. Now, as a ritual, we always start with a recap. Now, instead of going into a recap, let us start with a question. And this question will cover everything that we have done so far in the class for integration. And let us see how many of you can get this, and we'll try to find the solution as well. So this is question. If you can do this question, that means you are able to do everything that we have done so far. So this question will have every concept coming to us in the same question. Are we ready for this question? Everyone ready? Let's start. So now let me start with this. If A is equal to 2t, if A is equal to 2t, A is equal to dv by dt, V is equal to dx by dt. What I am doing is I am putting everything together. V is dx by dt. At t is equal to 0, V is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. At t is equal to 0, V is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. The question is find V and x as a function of time. Find V and x as a function of time. You are given A as 2t, A as dv by dt, V as dx by dt. No prizes for guessing. What will be A here? What is A standing for here? What does A mean here? Everyone? Anyone? No one knows what is A? No one? Yes, Tarun, acceleration. A is acceleration. Yes, Chaturya. A is acceleration. Then what would be T here? Kartik, Deepak, what would be T here? So yes, Santosh, T is time. Great, Niharika, T is time. Well, great. What about this gentleman V? What will V stand for? Niharika, Kartik, yes, V will stand for velocity. Very correct. And X will definitely mean what? Displacement. Yes, Kartik. So now we know acceleration. From acceleration, we are supposed to find out velocity and displacement. Your time has already started and I'm waiting for your answers. I must get the value of V, which is velocity, and X, which is displacement, as a function of time. Your time starts now. Let's see who gets me the answer first. Anyone needs any help? You can also ask for help. You can also ask for hints if you want. I'll give it to you. Anyone? I already have 50 messages. Just 5 minutes, 50 messages. Good. It's actually 56. Good. The more you participate, the better the class becomes. Once we communicate, it's a two-way street. I told you, no? Learning is a two-way street. Coming on to two-way street, I am only speaking and I'm not getting any answer. So it is more like a one-way street. No entry, one way. No one with an answer. Shall I do it? Okay, Vijay Kumar has come up with an answer. V is equal to T squared plus C. Vijay, I need an exact answer. C, I don't know what is C. You have to give me the exact answer. C, I don't know. You have to give me the exact answer for V. You have to give me the exact answer for X. C will not do. You have to find out the value of C as well. I hope you know how to get the value of C. Anyone? Vijay has tried and Vijay is correct. He is not wrong, but I need the exact answer. Vijay gave the answer as V is T squared plus C. Anyone? Or shall I do it? Tarun says T squared plus 2. No, Tarun, that is not V. I'm afraid that is not V. Look at the condition given here. At T is equal to 0, V is 0 and X is 2. Look with your own eyes. Take a deep breath. And now Vijay Kumar says V is T squared. Yes, Vijay, I think that is the correct answer. I'll write the answer that Vijay has got. I think this is correct. V is equal to T squared. That is the first answer. Velocity as a function of time. Vijay Kumar has taken the lead. Good one. What about the next one? X. X. Vijay Kumar has given me us the first correct answer. What about X? What about X? No one? Okay. I will help you out with this. Let us see how we are going to do it. So I know acceleration is dv by dt. Now remember how I'm writing. This is the exact way you should write. I also told you in the last class in the group, answer doesn't matter. How you do it, how you write it, how you understand it, that is what that matters. A is equal to dv by dt. That implies dv. Look at the steps. Is a dt. We understand this step. dv is equal to a dt. Yes or no? Can I have some raised hands? Yes, no, yes, no, yes. Anak says yes. Okay, great, great. Some of you, okay, great, great. We understand this. Okay, Vijay Kumar is there with an answer. T cube by 3 plus 2. That is correct, Vijay. That is correct. dv is equal to a dt. Santosh, I think you are wrong with x. dv is equal to a dt. Now what you do is you put integration sign on both sides. Integral of dv will be integral of a times dt plus you will put a constant c. Are you getting this step? Everyone getting this step? I have now put integration here. Have you got this step? Have you understood this step? Step is important, answer is not. Okay, now see, once you integrate dv, you will get v. So v is equal to integral of a dt. So I am trying to integrate. So I put integrate. A is 2t. So it is 2t dt. I still need to integrate this plus c. Now I go on to the next step. What is integral of 2t dt? 2 will come out. It will be t square by 2 plus c. 2 say 2 will cancel. That will give me v is equal to t square plus c. Am I clear? V is equal to t square plus c. Yes. Now I have to get the value of c. How will I get the value of c? Look at the condition here. At t is equal to 0, v is equal to 0. So I'll just put this condition. At t is equal to 0, v is equal to 0. From here I can get the value of c. What will be the value of c, Vahini? What will be the value of c? At t is 0, v is 0. Hanak says c is 0. That is absolutely correct. So now I have velocity as a function of time. V is equal to t square. We understand up till here. V is equal to t square. We understand up till here. C is 0. V becomes t square. Now my question is to find V. I already have V. Now I have to find x from V. How will I find x from V? So I'll write V as dx by dt will be equal to V. In next step, I will write dx is equal to V dt. Are we understanding these small steps and not making mistakes here in writing symbols? Okay, then I will put integral on both sides. Next step, putting integral on both sides. Integral of dx will be integral of V dt plus next constant c. Are we getting this? Are we getting this? We got up till here. We got up till this step. Everyone is there with me? Or have I lost some of you somewhere? Okay. Now I will integrate. Integral of dx will be simply equal to x. X will be equal to integral of v dt. So integral of what is v? It is t square dt plus c. T square dt plus c. Are we aware of this step? Where I am using integral and where I am not using integral. When I have integrated, I will not use integral. So now the answer is x will be equal to t square dt ka integral will be t cube by 3. We already know it. Plus again a constant c. So we have arrived at almost the last step. Only one thing remains. Yes, Vahini, to get the value of this c. And how will I get the value of this c? From the condition here, at t is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. Do we see this condition here? At t is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. At t is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. From here, I can get the value of c. What is the value of c? What is the value of c from here? It will be equal to 2. And my answer for x will be, I'm writing it here, x will be equal to t cube by 3 plus 2. Am I clear with this entire concept of how I have done this? First, I wrote acceleration as dv by dt. Then I wrote dv as a dt. Then I put an integral sign and added a constant c. Then I integrated dv, I got v. I come at this step. Then I integrated 2t dt and I got the value of v. Then I put the conditions and that is how we arrived at the result. Anyone who did not understand, please raise your hands. Any doubt in this, how we have done this? Harshita, you did not understand? What did you do? What you did not understand, please ask. Who have not understood? Raidu and Harshita, what's wrong? What if not understood? Please ask. Harshita, what you did not understand? So last step. What last step? From where last step? I had V is equal to D squared. You understand up till here? Then I put V as dx by dt. Then I put dx is equal to v dt. Then I integrated dx. I integrated v dt and I put a constant c. Then I integrated dx, I got x. V is t square dt is the integral plus c. I integrated t square, it became t cube by 3 plus c. Then I put the value at t is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. So you put 0 here, you put 2 here, you will get the value of c as 2. Am I clear? That implies that x will be equal to t cube by 3 plus 2. Am I clear with the entire question, everyone? Okay, so we have to do this again and again and again. The more we do these steps, the better we'll become. Remember where to put the integral. Once you have solved the integral, there is no need to put the integral. What I saw in your answers that you gave, you were putting integrals everywhere. Some were not putting integrals anywhere. Put integrals when you are integrating. Once you have integrated, there is no use to use integral. Am I clear? Okay. Shall I move ahead? If still you have doubt, you can still ask. You can still go back to the previous lecture, watch the recording of this one, and see the recording of this one. Still doubt, put it in the group, put it now in the class. I will be clearing it as well. Now, as I told you, there are two types of integrals, two types of integration. One is known as definite integration. The other one is known as indefinite integration. What we were doing up till now was known as indefinite integration. Now we'll just take an example and understand something known as definite integral, or definite integration. What do you mean by a definite integral? Now, if I have integration of fx, any function of x, dx, and then I have two numbers written here from x1 to x2, such type of integrals will come across such integrals in maths. In physics also will come across. Such type of integrations or integrals are known as definite integrals. Such type of integrals are known as definite integrals. This gentleman here is known as the lower limit. This gentleman is known as the lower limit. And this gentleman is known as upper limit. How will a definite integral look like? Let us look at an example. An example will be integration of 3x squared dx from 1 to 2. This is the simplest example that we can see. So here this 3x squared is the function of x. 3x squared is a function of x. Then I have this gentleman dx, which should be there, this gentleman dx. What is 1 and what is 2? Can anyone tell me? What is 1 and what is 2? Can anyone tell me? What is 1 and what is 2? 1 is known as the lower limit. So 1 is the lower limit and 2 is the upper limit. Now, how do we solve an integration where limits are given? See, when you do it in maths, for math students, we'll do a lot of things in this definite integral. We don't require that much in physics. So I'll just tell you what we require. So how are we going to use definite integrals is very simple. And I'll just solve this definite integral and probably you will be able to understand how to do it. So let us solve this integral that I have made. So I have made an integral 1 to 2 3x squared dx. Now let us solve this integral. Now since this is a definite integral, I don't have to put the constant. I don't have to put the constant. So how will I solve it? How will I solve this integral? So basically, I will just repeat the steps that I have already done. 3 jumps out. So it is 3 times integral from 1 to 2. I'm just writing steps so that you understand that nothing is different. 3 times integral 1 to 2 x squared dx. 3 is coming out. Now what do? I integrate x squared dx. Everyone knows what is the integral of x squared dx. What is the integral of x squared dx? It is x cubed by 3. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now instead of writing plus c, which we already wrote, which we always wrote in indefinite integral, here I will write 1 and 2. So it is written like this. Now you will be wondering, sir, what does this mean? If you written it like this, what does it mean? The first thing that you can do here, obviously, is since this is 3 and this is 3, they get cancelled out. So this is third standard maths. So they obviously get cancelled out. So what I have here is I have x cubed and I have limit from 1 to 2. Now how do I solve this? This basically means very simple thing. You put the value of x as 2, and then the function is cubed, so it is 2 cubed, minus you put the value of x as 1 and the function is 1 cubed. So this becomes the answer. It is 8 minus 1. So the answer is 7. Yes, Deepak. That is how you solve definite integral. As you can see, there is nothing new here. We are doing the same steps. The only thing that is different is instead of writing c, we'll put the values of x in the upper limit, lower limit, and then subtract the values. Am I clear? Do we understand how we do it? X is not 7 beta. The answer is 7. X key value was from 1 to 2. The answer is 7. The answer of this entire thing is 7. Am I clear? Am I clear? The answer of this entire thing is 7. Shall I give you one? And you will be able to solve it. One small integral. Definite integral. Okay. So I'll give you in this way. To solve question number 1, definite integral from 0 say to 2x dx. Zero say 2 definite integral 2x dx. Vijay Kumar is there with an answer straightforward 4. I think 4 is the answer. That is correct. Great. How do you do it? Already have around 160-70 messages. Great. 4, 4, 4. Ajit is also getting 4. Great. Tarun says R. R. How do you get R? 4. 4 is correct. 4 is correct. Why any? Tarun 4 is also correct. So how do I do it? Very simple. 2 jumps out. 2 times. Integration from 0 to 2 x dx. This will become 2 times x dx ka integral is very simple, x squared by 2. Then I put the limits from 0 to 2. Yes, Raju correct. Yes, Shriya correct. 2 say 2, high school maths. We can cancel it out. Then I'll put upper limit 2. So it becomes 2 squared. Then I put lower limit as 0 minus 0 squared. So the answer is 4. Everyone got this answer? Can I have some raised hand? Anyone who did not understand how we have done it? Two people have raised hand. I think these guys raised hand. Jaya Shankar. I hope you have understood this. Tushita says all. I got it. Everyone, I think, got this one. Jaya Shankar, any doubt? Yes, everyone got it. Okay. Okay. Now let me just add some more terms for you to make, for you to understand that even if I have more than one term, the process remains same. So this is a question for you. Question number 2. Find integral from 1 to 2 x square plus 2x plus 3 dx. Now apply the same logic, apply the same principle. Get me the answer for this one. This is definite integral, and I've just added some more terms so that you understand that the same process has to be done. In the previous question, you had done the process for just one term. In this question, you have to do the same process for 3 terms. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This is first term, this is second term, this is third term. Function, if you can call it function, it is function. 3 functions added together, waiting for your answers. Let's see who gets it first. I may not know the answer, so I'll be relying on what you are giving me, and I'll be hoping that you are correct. I'll only get to know the answer once I solve it. An answer may not be very good looking. It may be in fractions, it may be in points, it may be in decimals. I like fractions, so give the answer in fractions, that would be better. Jaya Shankar is still raising hand. Jaya beta, any problem? Please ask. Anyone with an answer? No one with an answer? Shall I do it? Vaini says yes, sir. Well, what happened, Vaini? Why you could not solve it? What's the problem here? Tarun says 31. Let's see. Let's see. What's the answer? Okay, I'll break it up. So first I will break it up into 3 different integrations. This is the first integral from 1 to 2 plus integral from 1 to 2 2x dx plus integral from 1 to 2 3 dx. We all agree on this? We all agree on my step number 1? We all agree on first step? Then I will integrate this. This will be x cubed by 3. Put the limit from 1 to 2 plus 2x dx. 2 will come out. X dx integral is x squared by 2. I put it. Then I put the limit from 1 to 2. We all agree on this? Are we on the same platform? 50 by 6, yes, it might be something like that. 50 by 6. Plus 3 jumps out. Integral of dx is x, limit from 1 to 2. Do we all got up till this step? We all got up till this step? If you all got up till this step, then I will consider that you have done it correctly. Then the last step is just putting the values. So I'll put the values. First I'll put x as 2. So it becomes 2 cube. 2 cube is 8. 8 divided by 3. Are you getting my point? Then I put the value of x as 1. So it is 1 cube divided by 3. So this is what I get from bracket number 1. 2 से 2 will get cancelled. Let us move on to bracket number 2. I'll put x की जगह 2. So it is 2 square. 2 square is 4. Minus 1 square. 1 square is 1. Plus 3 times x की जगह 2. X की जगह 1. You add it. and whatever you get is your answer. Am I clear? Am I clear with everyone? Anyone has any doubts, please raise. Vaini, got it? Can I have some raised hands so that I understand that we have understood? Look at where you have made a mistake. If you have made a mistake, look at steps. Step number 1, we segregate all the 3 terms, 3 functions. Step number 2, we integrate them separately. Step number 3, we put the values of upper limit, lower limit, and then subtract. Am I clear? Can I have some raised hands? That I'm clear? 25 by 3, yes, that might be the answer, 25 by 3. I don't know the answer, I'm not concerned with the answer. Whatever you get here, it's adding and subtracting. You should be good enough to add and subtract. My problem, my concern is you should get to this step, you should get to this step and this step, even though all are maths. After that, if you don't get the answer, that means you have done a mistake of plus, minus, multiply, divide. That is it. Third step, may I put the values of x as 2 and the value of x as 1 and subtract it. Upper limit minus lower limit. So x की value 2, 2 cube is 8, 8 by 3. X की value 1, 1 cube by 3. X की value 2, 2 square. X की value 1, 1 square. I have just substituted the value of x. Am I clear? Am I clear, beta? Chalo, I'll give you one more. If you can do this, that means you have done everything that we have done up till now. Take a deep breath, relax, everything will be fine. Here comes question number 3. Integral from 2 to 1. I've just changed the limit. Please see, beta. 3x squared plus x plus 2 dx. This is the question. It's a definite integral. I suppose that I would be getting correct answer this time. Answer doesn't matter. I'm very happy if your process is correct. Answers will come. Don't worry about the answers. If your process is correct, the answers will come. I have around 230 messages up till now. Someone has raised hands. Jai Shankar Santosh, you have any doubts, please raise. If you have some serious doubt, just ask me, I'll unmute you and then you can raise your voice and ask doubts as well. I can do that. Right? If anyone has a doubt and you are not able to type, ask me, I'll unmute you. You can ask your doubts. We'll start that one as well. But I can't unmute all of you at the same time because then that will create a chaos. So I'm waiting for answers here. 3x squared plus x plus 2 dx integration. I know it might take time. I am patient. I'll wait for 1 minute and see if someone gives me an answer. Anyone? Shall I do it? Minus 10, Niharika says. Minus 10. Maybe I have no idea about the answer. Anyways, we have got somewhere an answer. That is good. How are we going to do this? I'll break it into 3 parts. Integration from 2 to 1. 3x squared dx. That is my first integral. Remember dx, do not forget dx. Minus 10 by 3. I don't think 3 will come anyways. Anyway, let me see. Plus second integral from 2 to 1 x dx this one, the third integral 2 to 1 2 dx. Minus 21 by 2, that might be correct. Minus 13 by 2, that also looks good. Okay, let's see, don't worry. How will I integrate this? 3 comes out. Integration of x squared dx is x cubed by 3. 3 say 3, I can cancel. Integral from 2 to 1 plus integration of x dx will be x squared by 2. So I should get upon 2 somewhere. Lower limit is 2, upper limit is 1. Plus 2 jumps out. 2 integral of dx is x. Lower limit is 2, lower limit is 2, upper limit is 1. If you can get up till this step, good. What is the last step? I'll put the values. First put the upper limit. So it becomes 1 cubed with a minus sign. Then I put the value of x as 2. 1 cubed minus 2 cubed. That is my first bracket. Plus half is already here, so I can just take half outside. Half, I put the value of x as 1. So 1 squared. I put the value of x as 2 minus 2 squared. Half I have taken out. Plus 2 times value of x as 1, then value of x as 2. Whatever you get after this is your answer. Am I clear with this? How I have done this? Minus 21 by 2. Chaturji is saying, so I believe that he has done it correctly. And the answer is minus 21 by 2. Anyone with a doubt on this? How we achieve this feat? We have not done anything extravagant. We have just done simple integration. Break it up into the 3 different functions. Break it up. Integrate them separately as we are doing just in the last step. Okay, Deepak has also given the same answer. Good, beta. In the last step, just put the value of x, upper limit first, then the lower limit, then subtract the lower limit from the upper limit, and we are there with an answer. Am I clear? Do we understand this? Beta, this is not mod. This is not mod function. If you look, it looks like a mod function. You can write it like this. It is not a mod function. It is not a mod function. I'm just putting the limit. I know that you are doing mod function there. I never said mod function. I never said that 2 lines mean mod function here. Okay. If that was the case, I would have told you. Am I clear? I said bracket. The first function, bracket. I never use the term mod. Okay. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this concept of definite integration? Minus 21 by 2, that is what I am getting. Yes, it's okay. Everyone got this. Okay. Chalo. Now, before we finish this integration part, there is one small thing that I must also tell you here. No doubts, great. If you have any doubt, beta, you can raise. If you can't write something, please tell me, sir, I want to speak. I'll unmute you and then you can speak. Okay. I hope you understand this. If you can't write, if you don't want to write, you want to speak, not a problem. Just ask me, sir, I want to speak a doubt. I want to ask a doubt. I'll unmute you. You can speak and talk. Okay. Now, before minus 21 by 2 clear. Okay, Krushita. Before we end this topic of integration, let us just understand a very small thing because we would be using it in physics. That is the only reason we are doing it. If you remember correctly, let us go back to differentiation. I had y as a function of x. Yes or no? Do we remember y was a function of x? Then when we started, and then we did what? We found out dy by dx. And dy by dx was written as f dot x, first derivative of x, or it is nothing but a function of x gx, right? F dot x, yes, f dot x, or just a function of x. gx. We just call it a different function gx. And then we said that what are we doing in differentiation? We have the graph y is equal to fx is the graph or the function. We have the graph or the function, and then we are finding out its, what we are finding out in differentiation? What were we finding out in differentiation? We had the function and we were calculating its x is slope. Yes, Anjali, we were calculating its slope. We had a function and we were calculating its slope. Again, we go back, and when we started with integration, I told you we can also think of differentiation as dividing it into small parts. We had a big graph, we had a big function, we divided it into small parts and calculated the slope. Yes or no? Did we understand this? Yes. So we had a graph. Let me draw this graph so that things look better. So we had this x-axis, then we had this, then we had x and y-axis, right? We had x-axis, we had y-axis. Then we had a graph. This is my graph 2. Then on that graph, we had a point A. And then we drew, what did we draw at this point? We drew a what? We drew a what? Tangent. We drew a tangent. Do we remember? We drew a tangent at this graph. Tangent. And then we said that we are trying to find its slope, and the slope of this tangent is the slope of the graph. Secant, no beta. Secant was a line that cuts the curve at 2 points. When we are talking about dy by dx was giving me the slope of the tangent. Am I correct? This is what we understood in the first class of differentiation, or I said something else? Did I? Do we understand this? That we had a graph, we had a slope, we had a graph, we had a function, and we are trying to find out the tangent. Now this can be called, in mathematical terms, what we were doing, this is known as the geometrical representation of differentiation. Geometric representation of differentiation. So basically what it means is that we are trying to understand what differentiation is doing. We are trying to understand what differentiation is doing. Differentiation, if I draw a graph, differentiation is giving me the slope of the tangent, and that is how I draw it. So this is geometrical representation of differentiation. Do we understand this? Some 300 messages I've already got. Differentiation ka geometrical representation. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands? This is known as geometrical representation of differentiation. How we imagine differentiation. Differentiation is the slope of the graph. It becomes clear in our head. Okay, there is a graph. You draw a tangent at any point. That is imagining, that is differentiation. Now the point is, and I would be very glad if someone knows it. The point is how I imagine integration as. If I had to imagine integration as a picture, you know that from in integration we calculate function from the graph. We know this. You have a slope and then you calculate the function, or you have small things you add and make it bigger. But is there a picture that I can draw? That picture tells me what integration is. That will be the geometrical representation of integration. Yes, Chaturya, in integration, we have the tangent and we are trying to find the function from that tangent. Yes, that is correct. But if I have to imagine integration as some physical quantity, as something that I can draw, what will I draw? Will I draw a tangent and then try to make the function from that tangent? It will not look very good, don't you think? How will I imagine that I have drawn a tangent Then I'm trying to find out the function from that tangent. This one looks better. Differentiation looks better. I had a graph, I draw a tangent, that is differentiation. But to imagine integration in this way, I have a tangent and then from that tangent, I want to find out the function. It becomes difficult. Don't you think? To imagine it becomes difficult. What is it is representing? It becomes difficult to imagine, no? How I'm finding out this graph from the tangent. There is one other way of imagining this integration. Are we ready for that? It's a very simple way of imagining this integration. And integration always means what we have understood. It is the inverse function of differentiation. We will get the function from the slope. Everything is there. But just to imagine integration in your head, that is how we imagine. Shall I go ahead and tell you how integration is imagined in the head? Are we ready for this? Okay. How do I imagine integration in the head? That will be known as what? That will be known as what? What would I call the heading of this thing? What would be the heading of this thing? Anyone, what would be the heading? Geometrical representation of integration. Yes, Hannah, you are correct. GROI. He has made a nice short form, Hannah. Great. GROI. I'm also fond of short forms. Short forms are good. GROI. Geometrical representation of integration. How do I represent integration? Now, let me go back to the previous screen. In the previous screen, as you can see, beta, y is equal to fx was my original graph. And this f dot x was my gx. Yes or no? We understand? This f dot x was my gx. Yes or no? Yes, we understand. Now look at it very carefully and probably you will be very surprised to see how integration looks. Are you excited to find out how integration looks on a graph? This is how differentiation looks on a graph with the tangent. Are you excited to find out how integration looks on the graph? Look at the graph now. What am I going to draw? Hey, where is the graph? Okay, here's the graph. Now I'll draw this gx with a red pen. I'll draw this gx with a red pen. Now this is my gx. You understand? It might look same as fx, but I always draw graph like this. My all graphs are like this. So this is not fx, this is gx. Are you getting my point? This was fx, the blue one was fx. And what I've drawn here is gx. And you know the relation between fx and gx. Now what does this represent? Now imagine that I have 2 points. This is point x1 and this is point x2. Now I have 2 points x1 and x2. Now you might be wondering what are these points x1 and x2, and I'll just take you back to 2 or 3 screens before. Do you understand what are this x1 and x2 from this definite integral? What are x1 and x2? This x1 and x2 are the limits. Okay, great. This x1 and x2 are the limits. I'm just trying to make you understand in terms of limits first of all. This x1 and x2 are the limits. Great. Now, this graph gx between the limits x1 and x2, please mark my words. This graph gx between the limits x1 and x2 is enclosing some area. This is the area it is enclosing. Are you getting my point? This is the area it is enclosing. This is the area it is covering from x1 to x2. Are you getting my point? This is the area that it is covering from x1 to x2. And this area is nothing but integral of gx dx from 1 to 2. Are you getting my point? What is What does integration geometrically mean? Integration geometrically means what? Integration geometrically means what? It means area under the curve. This area under the curve gives us the original function whose derivative is gx. This area under this curve will give me fx. What is fx? Fx is this original function. Am I clear? Am I clear? What does integration give me? How I imagine integration? This is how we imagine integration. It is the area under the curve. So when I am calculating this area gives me fx. Once I know the limits, it is known as definite integration. So what I have drawn here is definite integration. This is definite integral. If I don't know the limits, then it is known as, if I don't know the limits, then it is known as what? If I don't know the limits, then it is known as, anyone? If I know the limits, this is known as definite integral. Yes, Manasa, first time you are replying that to at the end of the class. If we don't know the limits, it is known as indefinite integral. So integration is of two types. I'll again write it. Probably you have missed it. Integration is of two types. And we have discussed all the two types. Integration is of two types. We have discussed all the two types. One with limits that I have drawn here is known as definite integral. The other without limits is known as indefinite integral. In both the cases, what does it represent? How I imagine it? What is the geometrical meaning of integration? What is the geometrical meaning of integration? It is what? Area under curve. This is area under curve. This is how I imagine integration. How I imagine differentiation? It is the slope of the curve. AUC, yes, Anna, area under the curve. Great. So I'll call you the shortcut guy. Give me a nice shortcuts of this. Anna, shortcut person. Area under curve is the geometrical representation of integration. Do we understand this? Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands, sir? We have understood this. If bio wale students have any problem, you don't have to understand this much of maths beta. It's just because I wanted everything to be clear in your head. When you think about integration, you must know everything about integration that is to be known at your stage, at this point. You can also imagine it, okay, it is area under the curve. Whenever you have any curve and you find out its area, you are doing what? You are doing what? Whenever you have any curve and you are finding out its integration, you are doing what? You are doing what? If you have any curve and you're finding out its area, what are you doing? You are calculating its integration. You are calculating its integration. Whenever you are having any curve and you are finding out its area, you are doing integration. With that positive note, I finish the part of integration and differentiation. If you have any doubts up till here, please raise your hands and ask me the doubt. If you want to ask your doubt vocally, ask sir, I want to ask vocally. I will unmute you and I will give you a chance to speak. Anyone wants to ask? Any doubt? No one? Then we have enough time to start, which I don't usually do, to start the next topic, and we can do a small part of that today because we already know it. Okay, Deepak? So the next topic is scalar quantities. Scalar quantities. We have already discussed it in physical quantities, but now we'll do scalar quantities and vector quantities. So we'll just discuss scalar quantities for 5 minutes because we all know about them. And then we will call this and then we will call this a class. In indefinite integral, Archita, we don't have limits. There are no limits. We don't know from where to where we are integrating. But when we have limits, it is known as definite integral. If I go back, all these integrals had limits. They were known as definite integrals. This one, definite integrals. This one, definite integral. But the one that we did here to find out velocity or to find out x, it was an indefinite integral, sort of. Okay, am I clear? If we have limits, it's definite. If it does not have limit, it is indefinite. Scalar quantities, what are scalar quantities? Can you have a definition? Can I have a definition? Quick, quantities. So we'll have to, yes, Niharika, which are, they are physical quantities. These quantities or those physical quantities, these quantities can be completely what? Can be completely described. These quantities can be completely described by their magnitudes only. By their magnitudes. Now, when I say magnitudes, it must include unit because all physical quantity would have units. So magnitudes includes units. Magnitudes only, such quantities which can be described by their magnitudes only are known as scalar quantities. That is the first thing that you should remember. What is the second thing about physical scalar quantities that you must remember? Second thing, they can be added. They can be added. They can be added or they can be added or subtracted like numbers. They can be added or subtracted like numbers. So you can add and subtract them just like numbers. Can I have some examples here? Can I have some examples here of scalar quantities? Length is a scalar, okay. Length, breadth, distance, time, mass, and so on. These are scalar quantities. They can be added. Speed is a scalar quantity, yes. So they can be added or subtracted just like numbers. For example, a boy is at point A, he goes to point B by some path, he travels a distance of 5 meters, then he goes to point C, he travels a distance of 6 meters. What is the total distance traveled by him when he goes from A to B and B to C? What is the total distance from A to C? That would be 11 meters. So what I have done here is I have just added 6 meters with 5 meters, just like numbers. 6 plus 5 is 11, and that gets you the answer of 11 meters. Simple addition we have to do. We can also take one more example like this. Same. He takes 3 seconds to go from here to here, 3 seconds, and from B to C, he takes 4 seconds. What is the total time taken by him to go from A to C? The answer would be just add 4 with 7, 4 with 3, and we get 7 seconds. We can add them just like numbers. Another example, I have two bodies. Mass of this is 5 kg. Mass of the other body is 2 kg. What will be the mass of the two of the bodies put together? One body is having a mass of 5 kgs, the other body is having a mass of 2 kgs. The total mass will be equal to 7 kgs. So I've given an example of time, I've given an example of distance, I've given an example of mass. All of these are scalar quantities. They can be added or subtracted just like numbers. So I'll end my class here today on this note that we have discussed scalar quantities, and I would request you, you already have the notes for vectors and scalars. I would request you to read the notes of vector quantities before coming to the class tomorrow. We'll be dealing in details with vector quantities. Again, we'll be only restricting ourselves to what we require. Vector again is a topic of maths, but you will have more applications in physics rather than in maths. In maths, it's just a chapter. In physics, we'll be dealing with it for a long time. So on that note, I will end this class. If you have any doubts, you can ask. I'm waiting here. Bye bye, Peter, everyone.